Welcome to the Save Childhood podcast with Jennifer McCarville. Because childhood has changed, but children have not. Hey everyone, welcome to the Save Childhood podcast.
Hi, I'm Jennifer McCarville.
And I'm Nicole Dugan. And this is our very first podcast, episode 1.
Yes, it is. Episode 1, podcast and recording.
Yeah.
Which we've been talking about doing a podcast for quite a while, and now we're adding video, so exciting new adventure for us.
Yeah, for sure. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about the Save Childhood movement and why we're starting this podcast. But the Save Childhood movement, although it's a little bit newer online, it has started many, many years ago with the creation of Your School Marvelously Made.
Yes.
So let's start there at the beginning. Tell us about why you created such a unique school and how it started.
Okay, so the school for young children, started in 2010 as a preschool, and I started it because I started it because I was asked to start a school for children, and I decided that I was going to do all I could to honor development, because in my previous years in the field of education, that was not the case. I'm really fascinated by the development and how children are made and how we grow and change throughout our childhoods. And knowing what I knew about children and what they needed to thrive, I decided I was going to do everything I could to honor that development. And out of that dedication, things just kind of evolved. You know, parents want good things for their children. And what I found was when you share the information with parents that they need to understand why the children thrive if they get to learn through experiences and play and how development works, they are so relieved. You know, we want our children to thrive. And so parent education and encouragement and equipping parents has always been important from the very first year of the school. And I knew at the time the children would be with us 2 years. We were preschool, or maybe 3 if they had an extra year in the preschool before moving on, if they weren't finished there yet. And so I wanted the parents to be able to leave Marvelously Made School and be able to continue advocating for their children in a way that would give them an appropriate educational experience and childhood. So parent education is huge. And
when you were planning this out, were you feeling nervous about how different and unique it was and how the public would perceive it?
Oh, so nervous. And, you know, it's a long story for another time, but I didn't intend to start a school. And so, you know, I didn't go make a business plan and invest a lot of money. We started in a sweet little Methodist church and so I always say, I didn't have a dog in the fight, so I could be just as ornery as I am. I had stepped out of the field of education and didn't plan on going back because I was so frustrated with what was happening to children and not for children. And so God made me really ornery, and I was just like, well, you know what? It doesn't matter if it fails. But, you know, I found that God gave me that freedom and that window to say, I'm not going to compromise. Of course, I'll be the first to say that I'm not perfect. The school's not perfect. Nothing is perfect. But we don't get development out of order. And we are very intentional and very thoughtful. And having parents walk alongside that has made it richer and has really kind of created this evolution of the school I never would have anticipated. But I was so worried. I thought nobody's going to do this. It looks so different, which is sad too, because schools should look like places for children.
Right.
And of course, Marvelously Made does. And I was very nervous. I thought people aren't going to do this. But again, it didn't really matter because I didn't have a dog in the fight.
Right.
But it sure has been a great adventure. And there have just been so many people who've come along and just really continued to encourage and stretch, I guess, what I thought was possible.
And now the school is in year
15.
15.
This is year 15.
And it is ages 3 years old through...
So the School for Young Children is 3 years old through third grade. We also have a homeschool hybrid. Should I talk about that right now?
I mean, sure.
Yeah. We started a model for children 4th through 8th grade during the pandemic for our teachers' children primarily because we were having school and we wanted their children to be able to not be on screens and to have that authentic school experience during that time.
And connection with the learning community.
Oh, so important. Yeah. I mean, and no regrets on that. That was we had the most dedicated team of teachers and parents to walk through those 2 years. Actually, it ended up being 2 years. But anyway, so we started what's called the Collective, and it's a homeschool hybrid because all of our children attend school for 3 hours. And that means that they go home at noon. But once children are in 4th grade, I didn't believe they could get all the academics they needed during that time. So what we did is we formed a committee. That's what all good nonprofits do, right? We formed a committee. We kind of went through all of the possibilities and we hashed it all out. And we decided that the best case scenario for children at that age is that they could have language arts and math individualized. So the parents pick the children up at noon and they teach their children language arts and math. And in the morning at school, they come 5 mornings a week. They have community, collaboration, this real rich learning environment where they get to do handwork and art and history and science. And with that comes all kinds of gardening and trips and visitors. And it's just been a really amazing thing to grow. And so we also have that school under our Marvelously Made umbrella. So the School for Young Children, 3 years old through 3rd grade, and then the Collective is a Marvelously Made hybrid school for 4th through 8th graders.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the Safe Childhood Movement.
Yes.
Why did that start?
So we had a mama who was finishing at the school. She had 3 children. Her last child was at the school, and she came in and we were chatting like we do. And she said to me, "You know what you did? You saved childhood for my children." And it kind of took my breath away.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Right. And I thought, oh my goodness, what a sweet compliment. And then we talked a little more, and the more I thought about what she said, and I started talking to a couple of people on our team about it, we realized that what are the things that everyone could do to save childhood, that saving childhood really is the most important work we're doing. And what does that mean? And how could everyone save childhood for children if they weren't here? Like, how could we help people do that wherever they are? And what does it take? So that was many, many years ago. And throughout that time, that moment, that kind of crystallizing moment that I felt like we were called to really take that piece of the work as the most important part we do. And how do we share that with others? So we've identified 14 tenets that we know if everyone would do, we would save childhood. And that's generational work. Because what we know about childhood is that children haven't changed. What children need hasn't changed. So childhood may have changed and what we look at it as a society and et cetera, but children have not. And we need those things to align. We need childhood to look like children need it to be. And so we need to save that. It's important work. And so now we are working hard to share what we do, what development looks like, equip and empower other people to see that when they stand in that gap and protect what children really need, they're truly saving childhood. And what an amazing responsibility and gift to do that work. And we're all doing it together. And so we're just excited that that's our next step in this journey to continue doing that.
Yeah, and our teaching team here at the school has always wanted you to be able to spread your knowledge and experience to the community far and wide, long and far. long and far.
All the things.
All
over. Forwards and backwards.
And so you do trainings, and but this is one way that we thought your knowledge could really spread to other parents and educators and help everyone to save childhood. So that's why
we're
here today.
We're working hard to help as many people as we can. And and of course, I'll always have this special probably expression I make when we talk about the teachers here at Marvelously Made, because I mean that's the boots on the ground. That's what makes it happen. And we've had some incredible teachers, and still do, of course. But.
Yeah, for sure. You can find the 14 tenets at savechildhood.org.
Yes.
And also leave your email to join the movement. And so in this podcast and on our Facebook page, Save Childhood Facebook page, you will discover ways to dive deeper into each of the tenets and explore how you can implement them at home, in your classroom, and really make a change for children.
Yes, and we're, of course, growing those resources. And so that's why when you sign up online to join the movement, then we have your email so we can include you in information and upcoming things such as our Save Childhood Conference, which we had our first Save Childhood Conference last fall in 2024, and we're going to have another one in November of 2025.
Yeah,
so,
it was incredible.
Yeah.
So I hope more people can experience that too.
Yeah. So it's just great to work together with so many people and for this thing that's so important, and really doable.
Yes.
So you can do it.
Yeah. We're going to do it together.
Yes.
So join the movement, savechildhood.org, and like us on Facebook.
We also have an Instagram, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We do. We
like
have
us on Instagram as well. And join us for the next episodes where we can learn and grow together and share this important message.
Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us. It's going to be a great journey. We can't wait to get to know you.
Thanks for joining us today. To learn more and join the movement, go to savechildhood.org.